today's vlog, I'm going to be breaking down the myths associated with the real cost of a partner visa application. Of course, there's the government application charge that you're going to have to factor into your budget, but there's a lot of other expenses and other costs that you might not have thought about. Moving countries and all of the associated costs are certainly not cheap, so I won't sugarcoat this, but the aim of this blog is to break down what costs you might need to plan for and how you're going to budget for your future. Let's start with some of the more tangible costs, like the visa application charge. You'll need to budget for $9,095 for the main applicant, as well as additional fees for secondary applicants if you have any dependent children to include in the application. This fee will vary depending on if they are over or under the age of 18. Depending on the method of payment, you'll also need to consider credit card surcharges. There is an option to pay by BPay, which doesn't include any additional costs, but be warned, your visa application is not lodged until the bank reconciles this payment. This can result in delays of acknowledging applications and several days between when you press submit on your visa and when the application is actually taken to have been made. Applicants applying for the prospective marriage visa can expect to have the same base application charge, but will also need to buffer for additional fees when they lodge the second stage of their application, which is the onshore partner visa after they've married. Other tangible costs associated with the visa paperwork will include things such as biometrics, medical examinations, police checks, travel to and from these centres, or if you need to access special services such as fingerprinting. If your documents aren't in English, you'll also need to consider the costs of professional translation. Of course, you'll need to consider whether or not the cost of immigration advice and professional representation is within your budget. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell you what the exact fees would be associated with your application until we've done a detailed consultation. This allows us to provide a fixed fee quote which is representative of your exact circumstances. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. The overall cost of professional representation might vary depending on how complicated your case is and the experience of the agent who's representing you. For example, if somebody had a complex immigration history with past instances of refusal or criminal history to address, this would result in extra work and increase the scope of fees. At Freedom Migration, everybody's partner visa journey starts with a visa planning session. During this consultation, we will take down detailed information about you and your partner, the history of your relationship, and get a really good understanding of your personal circumstances to give you an accurate quote. There are some other big ticket costs that you're going to need to think about. This might include things such as flights, accommodation, visas and transit for other countries, and setup costs for new life in Australia, shipping belongings, permits for pets, and also buffering for time with or without employment, depending on the visa that you hold for Australia and how long it takes you to find a job. A partner visa is expensive and it's a big investment in your future, but what a lot of couples don't consider are the costs of things that aren't assigned a monetary value. The cost of getting it wrong, the cost of your time and energy. For example, mistakes on an application can cause serious consequences. In the most extreme cases, this can result in a refusal of an application and a significant loss in time in terms of your stability and plans for the future. For example, some couples have shared with us that starting a family, which is a big life goal, has had to be pushed back in line with visa requirements. These costs aren't just financial, we're talking about a significant investment and emotional pain, distress, and potential for separation from your partner, and that's something you just simply can't assign a value to. Don't forget, you're applying for a permanent visa to be together in Australia, and it's an investment in your future. The best thing you can do is make sure you get the right advice for your circumstances so you know exactly what you're in for. I look forward to meeting with you soon.